So hello everyone, this is your Krishna from Women Today YouTube channel. So in this channel, I have been interviewing many women entrepreneurs and also working women across different cities in India, offline and online. And we are also taking online interviews across many international countries. And today's our guest is Dr. Pooja Dhingra. She's from Delhi. She's a famous nutrition and dietitian over there. So I welcome you, Dr. Pooja ma'am, to this Women Today YouTube channel. So good afternoon, ma'am. So hi, how are you?
Hi, Krishna. Thank you so much. I'm very well. Thank you.
So please introduce about yourself, ma'am, because basically as a dietitian and nutrition, we may know a lot about things, but you should tell about yourself, your personal experience, a little bit things that you can share to the people who are watching this interview right now, ma'am.
Sure. So, when I talk about myself, hello everybody. I'm Dr. Pooja Dhingra, and by training, by qualifications, I am a dental surgeon. And since I had a deep rooted, and I still have a deep rooted passion for health and wellness, I continued my studies, and I chose to further upgrade myself and focus totally on the overall well-being and health of individuals. So I went for my further studies, and I did my master's in public health. Thereafter, I realized that I need to also focus on different aspects of health and understanding how what the ground reality is. I was working with NGOs, and I was a freelance social worker. So I realized that there are health conditions which definitely have some root causes which we as individuals are not aware of. So in order to understand this, I also went into my studies again, and I really think that food is one major aspect wherein we are very unaware and following the trends, and the entire mindset which revolves around quick fixes and the fad diets is something which really needs to be addressed. So I took up nutrition, and I dived deeper into understanding what role the nutrition plays in order to understand the metabolic pathways, and understanding the metabolic conditions, the diseases which we as individuals, as a community, as a society, as a country, we are facing all around us. So I took up nutrition, and today I'm a consultant nutritionist, and I'm helping individuals, and very categorically, I help women take charge of their health, and I also help them understand their own selves in a holistic manner, wherein health, as rightly said by WHO, is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not merely the absence of a disease. So it's a holistic approach towards understanding the root cause of any disturbance in the health condition. So today I'm practicing as a consultant nutritionist. So I'm a dentist, transitioned to a public health professional, health educator, and now a holistic life transformation coach.
Of course, you're a multi-talented woman in different
Thank you.
departments. Great to see that you're also a dental surgeon. Also, at the same time, being a dental surgeon, being a nutritionist, being a dietitianist is something like what to say. What I said before, you're a multi-talented woman, and that's of
Thank
course
you.
it's very kind of proved by the kind of history that you have in your work, ma'am. So and also at the same time, so being a nutrition planner, like how do you actually try to plan every like how do you actually category each and every people, like each and every people will be having separate different kind of disorders in their life, like what to say, they'll be having diabetes, they'll be having PCOS, they'll be having some kind of thyroid problems. So how do you actually basically you just train them to have a nutrition plan in their diet food, and also at the same time they want whatever the kind of diet charts they're giving, they want some kind of food which tastes good, right? So how do you actually plan each and every food that they have in their daily life, and how do you actually make them feel that the food they're having tastes better, and also at the same time it maintains all kind of disorders which they're facing in their life, ma'am?
Right. So whenever I take up my clients, I am very specific, and I'm very clear and transparent with the conversation that for the next few months or few weeks, whatever they have enrolled with me, it is always going to be a team effort, because I am not only the person who definitely I take up the accountability for whatever health condition I have signed up with my client, but I also take up the accountability that it has to be a 1:1 ratio, wherein I am also putting in my efforts in guiding you to what you have to eat, when you have to eat, and what is the health condition. But I need some efforts from your end also, when you have to be in a state where you are ready that now I'm ready, now I need to take up charge of my health condition. So whenever any client enrolls with me, the first step for me is that there is a discovery call wherein the call is either a phone call or it's a video call, because whenever we meet face to face, we are able to, understand each other better. We understand the health conditions, we understand the emotions, we understand the mindset of the client very well, of the individual very well. So this in-depth assessment that I do comprises of a long, detailed case history. So in this case history, it's very important primarily to understand what disease or what disorder, health conditions the person is coming up to me for, what exactly is going on in the body. With this medical history, I do. It's very important to understand, number one, the lab reports, wherein the blood reports give you an insight into the body. So what is going on in the internal environment? External environment, yes, visually I can see what is going on, but internally we need to know what is going wrong. So for that, the lab reports is something which I is my go to investigating tool for me. So with this, the medications, whether the person is on any medication or not, is very important, because certain dietary conditions interact at a certain point, and they need certain a different approach to reverse. And certain medications should not interact with certain food. For example, in thyroid, the thyroid medication, it can interact with a lot of like dairy, it can interact. So there is a specific time for the medication to be taken, and there is a specific time for the particular nutrient, the food group to be taken, and certain food items are to be avoided in the diet. So this comprises of the detailed, first is the in-depth assessment that I do with my clients. Then it's very important to understand the preference of the client, because as rightly said, that people, when this word diet comes, it creates altogether a very different mindset, that oh, means diet means restriction. So this is what I've commonly seen when I was on the ground, when I was talking to individuals, when I was myself into this journey of understanding what is this diet, what is this concept of diet. The word diet comes with the fear. So automatically your brain has this, oh, it's a restriction. I cannot eat this. I cannot eat this. Rather, instead of changing the mindset from eating a balanced meal, eating a wholesome meal, eating fruit, eating good amount of vegetables, the mind is conditioned to think in a way that it means restriction. But I never restrict my clients from eating any particular food group. So I don't know if you're aware that people quit rice, quit rotis, that, oh no, I have to avoid, I have to lose weight, I am diabetic, I am having XYZ condition. I will not eat rice, I will not eat roti. I will only eat fruits, I will only eat vegetables. There are set of people who pick one food category and they rely completely on that. No, that's not how the approach should be like. So culture preferences also comes into play. I can't force my clients to eat what I want them to eat. So the location where they are, their demography, their geography, their culture, their societal norms, their family norms, their religion norms, all of it plays a very important role. For example, vegetarian, vegetarian, protein, big thing that, the protein needs, some amount of protein should be there in every meal. So I can't force a client to switch on to a non-veg or an animal-based food group, because if the person is not comfortable, you can't force. So all of these have to be taken into consideration. They have to be kept in mind. The diet is designed in a way wherein all the practices, where all the preferences are taken into consideration. Also, there is the digestive health is also something which is very important. So there are certain, I would say, conditions, certain symptoms which the clients do come up with. For example, they face they experience bloating, they experience sometimes constipation, sometimes there is a reaction, there is some food intolerance, there is some food allergy they experience. Sometimes they are not comfortable or compatible with the dairy products. So this is how the tweaks are made. This is how I have to take a detailed history, a detailed assessment of the individual. Also, sleep, stress, exercise, they all, your work. What kind of a work are you into? Is that work giving you happiness, contentment, or is it giving you stress? Your work life balance. So, when we talk about nutrition, when we talk about the clients who come to me, I don't only focus, my focus is not primarily on the food that goes into their plate, into their mouth, into their stomach, but also the other pillars of health, which is their sleep, which is their stress anxiety, which is their happiness quotient, emotional quotient. So I prefer walking along with them in this journey, keeping all these pillars into consideration so that we achieve an optimal health. And there are no shortcuts. I don't promise for anything 10 kgs 1 month. I fix these small areas which need more attention. Eventually, it's very important, and I make them very, uh, make them understand that weight loss is a byproduct. Let's fix all these small areas and let's see how the health comes. Clear skin, acne free skin. How is the sleep? Are you sleeping 7 to 8 hours? Is it an uninterrupted sleep? How is the quality of your hair? How is the quality of your skin? So all of these, most importantly, the gut health also comes into play. So all these areas I work on. I take every area 1 week at a time, one small habit at a time, and that's how we work together as a team. So this is what I do with my clients in their initial assessment.
That's a very elaborate kind of paragraphically answer that you have given, ma'am. That it's great.
I
You have,
hope I hope I make sense here, because
yeah,
being
yeah,
a
actually,
doctor, coming from a medical profession, it's my duty to educate my client also. And it's, once they enroll, so it's a teamwork that we do. So he or she is not a client. So we work as a team, we work as friends who are there to support each other in that journey. And then the outcome, then we see the outcome, and then ultimately the contentment is what matters here, and a good health is what matters here.
yeah, of course, because basically I try to frame a lot of questions, but before I'm framing the questions, you gave me the entire brief and in what to say, in a very elaborate manner. Like what to say, I was just trying to ask, okay, if patients having some kind of medical histories, they'll be coming with the kind of medical histories, they'll be coming with the files that they receive from the doctor, they'll be showing it to you, and they'll be having some kind of diet charts planned by you. But what happens to the other people who do not have any kind of medical histories, that they have diabetes only at the starting stage? Then I have
Hmm.
already, I have the answer that is told by you, that you simply told that, okay, based upon the region that they are living in, right? If they're in the south, if they're in the north, if they're in the northeast, or if they're in any demography in any part of the world. So according to the kind of culture they're following, according to the kind of foods they're having, so we can actually categorize the kind of diet plans which they can have, so that they'll be able to balance all the kind of disorders, and also at the same time they'll be having a well balanced food in their diet life. I do understand. And also at the same time, we were talking about the gut. So basically people do not know much about the kind of gut, man. So please briefly explain me, what do you actually mean by gut health, ma'am?
Okay, so this is a very important aspect of our human body, and I'm very happy that we are talking about the gut health, because it's the core component of your human body, your gut. So I don't know. We often say that I have a gut feeling. I have a gut feeling this is not right. So where is this concept coming from? It's coming from the gut. It's coming from something which is within you. And this beautiful space that we have in our body, which we call as the gut, is responsible to carry out so many different wide diversified functions. Your sleep, your immunity. 70 to 80% of your immune cells, they thrive They are produced and they reside in this space called the gut, which is nothing but our intestines, the intestinal health, your sleep. So, your anxiety, your stress, where is it coming from? What connection? It's the gut brain axis which is there in the body. It is the gut. So, they say that brain, your gut is the second brain. Why? Because we have this beautiful hormone called serotonin. I don't know if you've heard of it. So, that's
Yeah,
a
I have
happy
heard of it.
hormone. So,
I
the
have heard about it.
happiness, yeah. So all of these happy hormones, where are they coming from? The gut. So if this core is taken care of, everything in the body eventually is good, falls into place, and you'll see that your diseases, happy, unhappy, unhappiness, your skin issues, autoimmune disorders, all your arthritis, all of this, where are we getting encountered with all of these diseases? Where? Long time back, ancestors years ago, I don't think these diseases were even there. Right now, the gut health, I mean, so many processed food that we're eating, sugar, the main culprit in my practice. I have seen sugar, the main culprit here, which is, creating a imbalance in the gut microflora. Sugar, processed food. Movement is one important thing which really needs, attention here, because when you move, when you have less of the body fat, you're working and you're, active throughout the day also, your body is in active state, you're able to better utilize your food, your energy, and the gut microflora also, gets all the kind of nutrients it needs to thrive and produce more of that good bacteria. So this is the most important core, I would say, in of the human body, which needs much attention, which needs the fixation, if in order to fix any problem. So for me, if I have to fix any problem, I'll simply go, first question, how is the gut? Constipation, diarrhea, leaky gut. What factors do you symptoms do you experience? So from this detailed history, when I try to understand about their digestive health, it gives me an indication that some problem is there in their gut. So let's first fix that. Then I switch to other things. Weight loss comes the last. First, I'll pick up these things. First is the gut health. I need to understand how are your bowel movements, how is your sleep, how stressed do you feel, what is your anxiety quotient. So this all gives me an idea, because it has a connection with the mind, with the brain, with the body, absorption of nutrients. So this part gives me an idea that something is wrong here. So let's first fix this. And then go absorption of vitamin D3, your vitamin B12, all of this. Again, any imbalance, any levels are going haywire. So we have to check the gut.
Yeah, of course.
That is the importance.
Of course, in every day-to-day part of our life, our gut feelings play a very vital role. Like, even if we
Yes.
do not face any kind of things in our life, our gut will actually catch some kind of signals. Like, if you are going to have a very good day, then it'll be having a very good feeling. If you're not going to have a very good day, then it will be like a third eye. Like, it will be sending us some kind of vibrations that something is not
Exactly.
good. So we should take a look at the surroundings. So that's the right thing. That's the basic thing. Because the most to be honest, the most genuine person who wants to talk about gut, I think it should be me. Because
Of course, please do let me know,
yeah,
share me
yeah,
some of your experience about it.
that plays a very vital role in my life. Like, what to say? Like, as you said, our gut is our second brain. Like, if our brain, if you consider, if you are just sleeping, and if, what to say, if you are having food at night, at late night, and we generally go bath, we generally go at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock to a restroom. But if we just immediately wake up in the middle of the night, or if we are not feeling very good, and if any kind of what to say, based upon our sense of feelings, like if we are scared, then our bowel movements will be like in a totally inappropriate manner. Immediately we will not be having any kind of dinner or a lunch or a breakfast, but our bowel movements will be like, oh, what to say, I have to go to the restroom right now. So it's based upon the kind of feelings that we have. This kind of feelings actually kind of the source is the gut. So only I think to have a very good gut, I think we should have some kind of clean fruits, clean vegetables, some kind of very clean food. I think, am I right, ma'am? This kind of clean foods,
Absolutely right.
yeah, this kind
Absolutely
of clean
right.
foods will actually make our gut health right. And if our gut health is right, then our feelings will pick up the correct signals from the surroundings. Because what to say, our body is like some kind of what to say. If you go in a car and if you want to hear some good songs, and if you want to connect to the antenna, there will be antenna outside the car. So it will pick up the signals and it will just match with the frequency, and we'll be able to tune in the right radio frequencies in which the songs we need to hear. So in the same way, our
Right.
gut health is same like the antenna. It will just pick up the correct right frequencies. Like since I'm talking to you right now, so my aim is to interview many working women across India. So you're coming and connecting with me. So it's like a frequency which is coming from the gut. So all these kind of things play a very vital role. Our food actually plays a very vital role, not only in maintaining our physical body, but also our mental state, kind of other things. So this is the basic experience which I personally have, which I wanted to do, share with you about that feelings, man.
Sure, sure,
And
sure.
also at the same time, what to say, if people are having some kind of other kind of allergies, food allergies, like certain people do not have some kind of what to say, food maintenance with seafoods. Some people will get allergies because of kind of other things. So at these stages, some people will be even allergic to milk. So at this time, if they do need, consider if they do need some kind of basic proteins or vitamins from the food which is allergic to their body. So at this kind of situations, how do you actually, do you recommend any other food which do have the same vitamins and proteins, or is it like, okay, do you just recommend, no need to worry about the kind of food allergy, you can just have the food? So please elaborately explain about the things about this kind of food allergies, ma'am.
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, so when we talk about these food allergies, so we first definitely the allergic conditions are always asked before in hand in the questionnaire, in the Google form, whatever. That are you allergic to any medication? Are you allergic to any food? So there are very common allergies that we have seen. People are allergic to eggs. People are allergic to dairy. People are allergic to wheat. So there are certain kinds of allergies which people are already aware of. You know, it's something which is by birth, congenital, that we say that, okay, this is by birth, I'm lactose intolerant or I'm gluten intolerant. So this is a very new and a very hype word that people are going, let's go for gluten-free breads. Let's go for dairy-free. People are turning vegan. So I have no offense in conversion, all these veganism or something. No, it's definitely a choice that people want to make. That's their call, not a problem. But if they are not understanding, and if they are not, they don't know, when they never had these kind of allergies at the time of birth, and suddenly they see that after consuming a particular food group they are experiencing some disturbances, some gastrointestinal disturbances, which could be diarrhea, which could be some skin allergies, which could be a lot of acne, which could be eczema also sometimes. So there, what we do is, okay, so we take a diet recall. We need to understand the timings also. That also plays a very important role. So the diet recall which the client gives us, which the client gives me, like, I a 24-hour or maybe a 5-day recall, that, okay, I ate this on this particular day, I ate this, my wake up timing is, so for example, 7 a.m., and then I drink tea and I drink coffee, and so sometimes after having like breads or some certain flowers, I'm feeling gastric, and all of these symptoms. So from these symptoms, I understand that there is some intolerance. Allergy, allergic reactions, and intolerance. These are the two words which need some clarity. If you're allergic and suddenly you've become allergic, means there is some gut issue which is not uh, your gut is not able to digest a particular nutrient from that food group. Maybe there are certain nutrients which are missing from the diet. Maybe there is a lot of processed food. So these symptoms collectively give me an insight about what is going wrong, whether it is an allergic reaction or this is a sensitivity or intolerance. Okay. So for this, like for example, IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. This is something which people get diagnosed at a very early age, or maybe they get diagnosed later. Why is this happening? What is this happening? That's altogether a very different gut physiology. I won't go deeper into this, but yes, sometimes when they say that, I'm intolerant towards gluten now, in that cases, I restrict and eliminate gluten products from their diet. And then when we eliminate it, doesn't mean that they can't go back to gluten after some time. This elimination happens for a period of 3 months or maybe 4 months, depending upon the severity of the symptoms. Then once these symptoms start to disappear and they start to, come down, and the person is feeling much better and the condition is improving, then we start introducing the food group back, but slowly and in different quantities. Limit low quantities, limited quantity, then slowly we increase as per the demand and the requirement of the body. So, for example, it's gluten. When we switch the person to another alternative. Could be oats, could be white rice, could be um, any millet, for instance. Okay, second example would be your nuts. If sometimes people are allergic to nuts also. So, what could be an alternative to that? Could be seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds. So many options. Milk, if the person is not able to tolerate, lactose intolerance is something which very commonly we see from the beginning, at the time of birth, at the time of the young age. So what is the alternative? You can go for nut milks. Curd is also something which these people are able to digest, because the bacteria is different in that form. So in such cases, if the person is lactose intolerant, so we go for a lactose free milk, or else we go for a nut based milk. It could be your almond milk, could be your coconut milk, could be your oat milk. So the alternatives are always there.
Yeah, that's also very great answer of you. And also at the same time, we are just speaking about the kind of allergical foods that normal people do have, and
Hmm.
you have just very well explained about the kind of alternatives which one can have if they're allergic to one specific food. That's a great explanation from your side. And also at the same time, what kind of common nutritional deficiencies that people do have in this modern day life, that most of the people coming to you, they'll be having this one common nutrition deficiency in a day-to-day life, like consider maybe of any age category, like consider from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, it may be any age category. What's the most common nutritional definition, I mean nutrition deficiency that one have in today's modern world, ma'am?
Okay. Now, this is a very huge part of my work when we talk about the nutritional deficiencies. So, sometimes when we are eating well, still we don't know what is going on, and that is where the lab reports also come handy, and they come into the help. So, primarily in today's scenario, and the commonly what I have seen in my clients and I've seen around, is the number one deficiency that I've seen is the vitamin D3. So this is something which is every individual be. I mean, I'm not being very gender specific here. So I have more of the female clients because I'm able to connect well with them. So I generally see the vitamin D deficiency. Either it is insufficient, which is like below the minimal level that is needed, or it is like at the borderline. I have not encountered a woman, any client of mine, who is very well with the vitamin D3 levels. And I would say I would give more of the emphasis here on the fact that number one, we have a sedentary lifestyle these days. Second, we are not getting the basic thing, the basic lifestyle shift, or I would say basic lifestyle change, or a lifestyle, a basic habit that, I would say is that because of the sedentary lifestyle, because of the erratic sleeping patterns, doom scrolling is the new terminology which is there, uh, too much of social media handling, too much of phone usage, erratic sleep patterns, getting sleeping late, waking up late. The sun exposure is very limited now. We are mostly indoors. Nobody's even wanting to be there out in the sun, take that sun exposure, do some grounding techniques, walk bare feet on the ground. We're not doing that. We're not following these ancient practices. So this is the one of the reasons which I see we are lacking in vitamin D. Other thing is the common signs that we often see. I don't know you have ever experienced, you can share me your the signs and symptoms also if you've ever seen. There's a lot of fatigue, a lot of mood swings do happen, a lot of skin changes happen, energy levels they change, pains, body pains are there. So these are very common, signs I see in the women. And D is one of the major vitamin deficiency that I have seen. Then other is the B12. So we were talking about the gut health. So B12 will be one of the common deficiencies that is, there I've seen in people. Again, I'm not being very gender specific here. Iron deficiency is also seen in women. Now, women, girls, since they are menstruating, young girls, especially when they hit their puberty, when they have their menstrual cycles going on, and because they are young and because they want a specific body weight, the nutrient rich food is very much compromised. Green leafy vegetables, just to be in a certain weight category, they stop eating food. We go on fat diets. We don't take enough good fats from the diet. So iron deficiency also is something which is very common because there is a blood loss every month, and in order to replenish that, and in order to get your vitamins functioning well, nutrients working well, absorption taking place in the body is not getting that from the food. Something or the other in the plate is missing. Eventually, iron deficiency, your hair quality gets compromised. Your hemoglobin levels, they are 11, 10, 9. All of these things are very common. Your color of the skin, in order to, they're not eating. Your spinach is something which is like very good with the iron content. So not eating the greens, eating their greens. So the color of the skin changing drastically. So what is this quick fix that they do? A lot of makeup. The color is not coming out well. Pale skin color, iron. And iron absorption automatically, when you need good iron from the food that you're eating, you need to combine it with vitamin C. So vitamin C, fruits are also missing from the diet, vegetables are missing from the diet. So iron deficiency is also very commonly seen in the women and the girls in the age group between, I would say, 20 to 30, 35. I would say I have seen that. Sleep issue, when we talk about sleep issue, magnesium deficiency is there, zinc deficiency is there. So very commonly, I would say D, B12, iron, and magnesium is what I see in my practice, in my consultations, and what I have seen across me. So these are the deficiencies which are very commonly, seen.
Yeah, of course. Based on your speech, that in between the middle of the conversation, that we were speaking about my personal experience, the kind of things which I
Yeah,
had.
please.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of things. I do wanted to tell one thing that not only 90 percentage, but 99 percentage of the people in this modern days world, they'll be like not facing the kind of sunshine that they needed to have in their daily life. Like they'll be indoors, they'll be getting into the bed late night at around minimum of around 11 o'clock or maximum at 3 o'clock. They'll be going to bed at these
true,
kind
true,
of
true,
things. Most of the people will be like, they'll be like night owls. They'll not be sleeping the entire night, and they'll be going to the bed. They'll be making their bed only at early morning 5 o'clock. So it will be like two
exactly.
persons, two persons in two different extremes. One person will return from night duty, and the other person will be going to sleep only when the night duty person returns to the home. So it's like the sleep cycles play a very vital role in the kind of vitamin deficiencies that we do
Yes,
have, like
yes, yes.
vitamin D3 that we are speaking about, that we majorly lack because of the kind of sunshine which we do not generally have. Because this kind of vitamin D, I think the specific time is the early morning sunshine, like between consider sunrise time from 5:30 to maximum 8 o'clock, maximum 8 o'clock. That's the kind of correct.
That's the kind of,
Yeah, that's the correct time which we should have some sunshine, which should be facing our body. Like we should go for walking, or we can just
hmm,
simply sit in the terrace, have some kind of vitamin D daily. So without any kind of proper sunshine, our body will not be having anything. And also at the same time, speaking about the screen time, people, of course, I'm not blaming anyone across the world. I'm to blame myself, because since we have work in our cell phones, in our laptops, in our day-to-day life, we should always face a screen. Because if there's a famous saying by, I think it's said by Bill Gates or it's said by Tim Cook, I do not know. There is a famous saying that if you're not online in your business in today's modern world, then you'll be out of business. So we should be always online, or there should be some kind of person who is promoting your business online. So without these two categories, if there is no any person working under us, there should be minimum of around 10 people who should be always promoting our products, promoting the kind of service we do. So if we do not have any kind of people working down under us, then it should be us who do all these kind of things by keeping our phones in front of us, by working in front of laptops, all these kind of things. So when we are facing the screen time, so we are not having a very proper sleep, and without proper sleep will be like, what to say, we should have in a very kind of dark environment. Like if we switch off our lights, there should not be any kind of one single minimum a light which should not which should be visible to our eyes, because only in the a complete dark situation, I think there is some kind of what to say, some kind of nutrients which is produced in our body, if I'm right. Is that right now? Only in the dark we can have some kind of nutrients which
It's
should be there.
it's a hormone, melatonin,
Yeah,
which
melatonin. Yeah.
generally gets activated when there is a darkness. So when you are in the dark, in the dimmer area, and when the sun sets slowly, when the sun is setting and there is a darkness. So there's a very beautiful concept here, which I always tell my clients. Um, in my view, I see, so there is this concept of intermittent fasting, and I have seen my clients coming to me, okay, now put me on intermittent fasting. I want to fast, I want to do this, I want to go and go for a, like immediately it will be a weight loss, and I want to fast. So here, what I am trying to fix here, whenever they come to me, there is a concept called circadian rhythm. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I
So
have
it's,
heard about it.
yeah,
Circadian.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is a very beautiful concept, and this has been practiced since the ancient times. From the way it's also mentioned. Its benefits are also mentioned into the Vedic scriptures also. When uh, you know we have this sunset and sunrise. So our body is functioning, and
According
all
to
the
the sun and
physiological,
sunset.
exactly. So the physiological functions of the body are aligned according to a natural rhythm. It's not we who are controlling when we have to go for the bowel movement, how the heart is beating, how the hormones are being produced. We are just here, and we're just carrying out the activities that we think we are supposed to do. Right. But internal environment is something which is not in our control, but the habits which accelerate or which enhance the function and puts us in a state of optimum health and optimal well-being is something which is in our hands, which we call as the habits and the lifestyle that we follow. So when the circadian rhythms, anything from this entire clock gets disrupted, the body will show its symptoms. So when we talk about sleeping late or doom scrolling or the laptops or what too much of screen time and all, what are we doing? We are disrupting the melatonin. And what is happening when we are disrupting the melatonin? We are not somewhere able to fall asleep. And if the sleep is hampered, what is happening? There is the rise in certain hormones in the body. The cortisol also rises, and this disrupts the
Cancer
other
causing
hormones of the
hormone,
body.
cortisol. Am I right now?
It's not only the only cancer causing hormone. There are other factors which contribute, but yes, this eventually leads to inflammation. So nowadays a lot of hype is around the anti-inflammatory diet, and I went on for an anti-inflammatory diet and I lost weight, and we have these celebrities also talking about anti-inflammatory diet. So what exactly is happening? It's because these components of health and wellness and are just off balance. We are just off our circadian rhythm. So we need to fix all these things. So this is what I educate my clients. I don't want them to be dependent on me to come take help from me 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. But I do not want them to be with me for the next 6 months. No, I don't want them. I educate them. You should be educated, not influenced. This is a very nice quote by Luke Catino. I am a big follower and a big fan of his. So he says, and it's something, everything is just readily available. You just need to understand, you need to understand this physiology, biology, and you're all good to go. There won't be any chance that you'll be seeing diseases or you will be seeing going off the track. So the circadian rhythm plays a very important role. This hormone, this sleep cycle, it totally, it's very directly proportional to how much, the melatonin is being produced. And the melatonin disruption happens when we are not sleeping, when we are supposed to sleep, because the organs, everything, they just shut down at a particular time. They stop, the repair work starts. So your 10 p.m. to your 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. is your all your repair work that happens. All the fat loss happen when you are sleeping. No fat loss happens when you're in the gym. Trust me on this.
Yeah,
It's
of
the
course.
sleep.
Yeah, of course, because during the night time only the liver will have some kind of rest, because most of the people will be having the screen time during the night time. At 11 o'clock, I think the liver time starts, repairing time, as you told right now.
Repairing, all the repairing takes place. So when you are sleeping on time and you're having a good sound sleep, you're maintaining a good sleep hygiene, you're sleeping well, your cortisol will also go down. And you'll see that your melatonin, your growth hormone comes into action, and it just enhances all these hormonal, they function optimally. So there are no chances of falling sick. There are no chances of getting any metabolic disturbances in the body. So the day we realize that, they say intermittent fasting. So in my view, I would say it's I don't go for, I don't suggest my clients to go for intermittent fasting, 16 hours, 14 hours. The best way to start this and to increase the fat loss in your body is to just have early dinners, 6 p.m. maximum. And for the entire 12-hour window, don't eat anything. Water is
Exactly.
something which is sufficient.
Exactly, because as you told, like you do not want people to go for straight away from 12 to 16 hours straight intermittent fasting. Like you can say one simple thing, like many people, to most of the people, the reason for diseases is the kind of food which we consume. So if it's
True.
digested properly, then it's no need to worry about anything. But because of the kind of lack of sleep cycle and the kind of work we do, the kind of pressure we are
True.
having in our work, we'll be going through a lot of troubles, basically in our mental health and also in our physical health and also in our gut health. So
True.
all these kind of things
True.
makes a lot of mixture. It disturbances the kind of chemicals which is produced in our body in order to make our
True.
body work in a very good condition, in order to make every kind of muscles work properly and kind of make the digestion grow properly. But because of the kind of not balanced kind of things which we can't kind of go and fight against it, because in our modern state life, everybody, like consider, if you're a pilot, if you're going to fly a plane, most of the pilots will be having kind of red eye flights, like they'll be operating the flights, like they'll be having the departure at in the middle of the night at around 2 o'clock. So they should
Mm,
report the
mm, mm,
airport minimum of around 2 hours. So they should be going to airport at 11 o'clock. They'll be
mm,
preparing for the kind of night schedule flights. They'll be going to sleep in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. They'll be having a set of alarm patterns. Like if they want to wake up in the middle of the night, like around 1 o'clock, they'll be starting the alarm pattern at 12:30, 12:35, 12:45, 12:50 for every 5 minutes. So these kind of things, they'll be having, what to say. I also wanted to say one thing. So consider if you're going to keep an alarm at around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, like only one single alarm,
mm.
like you are making your mind totally that I have to catch my flight at around 6 o'clock for a normal passenger. They'll be like, even before the alarm rings, we'll be getting up at the right time at around 3:55, because our gut health
Right.
always kind to connect with the brain, and it will be alarming us. It's going to be 4 o'clock. So like even before 5 minutes, we will be just astonished by the thing that okay, we have the alarm is going to ring by 5 minutes, but we are waking up. But that's the work which is done by the gut health. It actually sets the time for our brain to wake up us during the sleep
Yes.
cycle.
So we switch into a flight fight mode. So this is a natural mechanism of the body to put you in that zone that you are alert that, oh, if what if I miss my flight, and I don't want to go for those losses. This is a
So
very natural mechanism.
yeah, that's a very natural mechanism. And also at the same time, we can't restrict these kind of things. If we want one thing in our life, it's well said. Either we have to go go for a work which do not disturb our kind of sleep cycle, our food cycle, every kind of things, or we should just leave the job aside. Like we can just work for maximum of around 10 years, struggle, work hard till your body supports you, and after that, like after 40, 45, we should just shift on to your job. Like we will be having a very good sleep cycle in the complete darkness. We'll be having some good food. We'll be able to wake up at the right time at around 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, go for a walk, go for a jogging, something like that. But if we need some kind of pay rise, we will be given only at the time after 40 years of age. So at that time we can't, we're just working for the past 10 years in any IT industry or any kind of industry. So at the time, because of the kind of financial troubles which one have in one's life, people will not be able
Mhm.
to shift the job. So either they
True,
have to
true.
take this one serious risk, either go for a well-paying job, you should sacrifice your body, or either you should sacrifice your well-paying job, take care of your body. So this is the kind of thing
Yes,
which we are
true, true.
stuck in modern life. So at this time, as he told that people, most of the women, children are facing a lot of things that they're lacking in the zinc, magnesium, and a lot of kind of nutrition deficiencies. In order to make the kind of weight loss that needed to be done, in order to maintain the weight that they needed to be looked upon in the society. But as a client, if they're coming to you and if they're asking you suggestions for a proper, well balanced weight loss, so
Hmm.
what do you actually advise them?
Okay, so definitely, so people who clients who are coming to me, they come to me. So their major concern is, Pooja, I have gained weight. Now I want to lose weight. Like, okay, we'll lose weight. But before coming to weight loss, let's again go back to the root causes. Let's understand what or how does your a regular day looks like. So first, again, I definitely go for a assessment, the in-depth assessment, and in my view, I make my clients first eat because from their dietary recall, I do get a fair understanding about the portion sizes, what they're eating, when they're eating, the timing also plays a very important role. So, in order to, so it requires a very disciplinary approach. And I always emphasize on eating a wholesome meal. I take the recall, and when I understand their eating habits, when I understand, so in the first 15 days, I make sure that we are not counting any calories. The counting, the calorie count, and this phenomena, this bunda, I don't work in that manner. I first make them eat complete meal. A complete meal means wherein you have carbohydrate also, you have protein also, you have fats also, you have your vitamins and your minerals. So your plate should have all of these components, these macronutrients, and let's first eat. And we pick one habit at a time. So I introduce them to certain uh, herbs also, certain spices also, and definitely sleep is one aspect where I have to be very careful with. The other aspect is movement, exercise. You It's okay. I mean, it's a belief that 80% of your body changes, transformation begins with the diet. It's rightly said, but we also need that movement. Also, we need the joints also to move. We just can't be sedentary and just eat less. No, and I never focus on eating less. I never focus on the detox diets because we are given a beautiful organ in the body, liver, which does more than 300 functions, and it's sufficient to do that. It's just eating wholesome meals, eating clean once in 15 days or maybe once in a week. One cheat meal is allowed. I really push them to go to zero sugar, but that zero sugar is not done immediately because it's a habit which they have been into since years. So one habit is picked up one in a week. For example, let's start with a movement. Straight away, let's not jump to the gym. Let's just walk. Let's set some small realistic goals and let's achieve them week by week. Let's take the week one goal and the progress to the second week, and let us make it as one plus one as two. So this is how I work for weight loss, not focusing on weight loss primarily, focusing on the small issues which need correction, introducing wholesome meals into their diet, introducing herbs and spices, introducing functional foods, introducing adaptogenic herbs. And this is how I work with my clients. And more importantly, yes, when I talk about movement, I also encourage them to go in for strength training. Now, strength training has its another, advantage when it comes to movement, and specifically in women. So I always encourage women to lift weights, lift heavy weights. Mobility is one pillar of fitness. Strength is one pillar of fitness. Definitely, everything will not be achieved in one single month or in a week. Slowly and steadily, I encourage them a lot with their habits, and it's a teamwork. And I have a small community also, wherein we all of us, we make sure that other than our gym workout, 10,000 steps a day, we all complete. Even if we have done 9,000, even if we have done 7,000, we take a screenshot and we all put it in the group. We encourage each other that, we are doing this. So it's a very realistic approach towards your health. A lot of breathing, breath work is something which I focus. Again, your mind has to be very calm. Your brain has to be very calm in a very calm, in a composed state. Otherwise, again, the cortisol will increase. Inflammation will definitely be there. So, breathing is also one aspect which I very deeply advocate and preach, that pranayam in any form, any breathing, even if you sit 5 minutes, close your eyes and just breathe, inhale and exhale through your nose normally, works with me. But I just want that you don't have to be in a very stressed state. And we set realistic goals. No 10 kg a month. So there is no time restriction with us. It's just that we are going slow and steadily, but something which doesn't bounce back, something which is permanent, sustainable, something which is not temporary fix. This is how I encourage them and I work with them, with my clients.
Yeah, I do understand that we should not take any kind of stress in order to what to say. If we have any stress, then we will always be finding a situation where we always put gains, some weight gains we find in our body. So I'll try to avoid stress. Of course, we have talked lot about the screen timings. We have talked about a lot of good
Mm.
clean foods.
Mm.
But what to do? There is nothing we can what to say. If we have to change, then we should be back like before 10 years, like before 15, 20 years. Like at the time, people not be worried about anything. There will be no any kind of online things going on right there. Like anybody, if they wanted to have the look, they wanted to be looked upon by the society right now, they'll be having a lot of filters, they'll be having a lot of makeups. So because of this, it not only changes the kind of lifestyle they're just having. Like people in
Mm.
today's modern life, they'll be having kind of night time. They'll be going out in the city during the night time. They'll be having a lot of fancy food in different fancy restaurants, like only during the night time. They'll be having get together only during the night time. They'll be having a lot of screen time only during the night time. They'll be having going to night shows because of the kind of nightlife which is existing right now. There'll be a lot of business which is opening mainly during the night time. And you see a lot of
True.
people working 24 hours. They'll be having a shift, like what to say. They can't escape the kind of work that they're doing right now. So they should actually, genuinely speaking, they should sacrifice just one thing. Either they should go with the kind of work they're going right now, or they should concentrate on the kind of body that they want right now. So it's a kind of
True,
thing.
true,
Like
true.
what to say. Generally, just wanted to know what time do you actually prefer to go to bed, and what time do you actually prefer to wake up in the early morning? Personally, from you, ma'am.
Okay, so personally, I always advise my clients to go off to sleep early. Doesn't mean that go just wrap up by 9:30. But yes, ideally after your dinner. So my timing would always is like 7:30. Maximum is last is 8 p.m. for the dinner. For the sleep, I would say 10:30 is the best time to just doze off, read a book, keep your phone away.
Yeah,
Just keep the phone away.
the screen time should be at least 2 hours before screen time.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
without the
Two
proper
hours.
light,
Yeah.
because of the light which is coming in from the screen, from our laptops or
Yes.
from cell phones, it will not be allowing us to gradually go into the sleep. Because without a
Yes.
proper gradual sleep, we can't go into the dreams. Because only in
Yes.
the deep sleep state, our dreams will
Mm.
emerge. Other than that, we can't do
Yes.
anything. So
Yes.
personally, At
Yes.
what time do you go at sleep? Because being a dietitian, you
10:30.
10:30.
10:30. I
You
sleep by
wake up at
10:30.
you
Yes.
wake up at
I okay, now I'll tell you. So I worked on my gut health also. So
great.
when I worked on my gut health, because the first and the foremost was I started working on my gut health. And what I realized was that there was a very beautiful thing that came up after 7 days, because there's a proper routine that you have to follow, some 21-day cycle. This is how I've designed everything. So what I realized was there was a natural push from my body, and I used to just wake up 5:30, 5:45. So between 5:30 to 5:45 I used to wake up. And and this is something which I think you should always, everybody who's going to watch this out, that the first thing in the morning when your body is actually waking you up should be that your first thing should be that you're in the washroom for your bowel movements. You're just getting freshen up and everything. So it should be a natural, naturally induced, not.
Ma'am, we were just talking about the bowel movements. So the right kind of sleep and the right kind of wake up should be actually from the kind of wake up call from our own body. The bowel movements,
Yes.
with the help of these kind of things, we'll be able to wake up at the right time. And the first thing we should do after we are waking up is to use the restroom. So that's the kind
Yes.
of thing we should first do, because the only thing our body should eliminate the kind of unwanted things from our body. So the kind of bowel movements, if we go to sleep at the right time at 12 o'clock, like, sorry, I'm just used to it, so that I'm saying the right time is around the 10 o'clock,
Right.
so as you said, and right time to have food. The late night dinner should be maximum around 8 o'clock, or it should be a minimum of around 6 o'clock, so that we will be having a very good kind of sleep cycle, and also at the same time we'll be having a good bowel movements, and which will gradually, it will lead to a kind of good uh, kind of digestion in our body, and we'll be having some kind of good liver functioning, and good kind of other kind of
Yes.
functioning. We'll be having some kind of nutrients which is getting into our body because of the kind of right sleep. And once we have finished our duty, the very first duty is going to the restroom, and once we are clear, we can just follow with the kind of other works. We can just start our day. So these are the
True.
things I was talking about, and this was
Right.
personal experience about bowel movements. As you also same the kind of same back, you are also kind of telling the same things. Okay, ma'am, you can just proceed with it, ma'am.
Yes, so this is how the things should be like. So when you sleep on well, so there's a very old and a very common phrase that we've been listening to and we've grown up listening to. Early to bed, early to rise makes a person healthy, wealthy, and wise. So it somehow affects your I don't know how many of us have experienced this. I don't know, but definitely I've experienced this. When you wake up on time, when you have a sound sleep, when your bowel movements are absolutely clear without any external stimulus, any laxative, you will automatically feel very fresh. So there is a term which is associated that, I'm feeling very fresh today. You're very energetic. So where is this all coming from? Gut health.
Yeah, that whatever the things which is
Sleeping
inside
on time.
yeah, which is
Yes,
inside our health, it's going out, and the elements which is eliminated, and we have only good ingredients in our body, which will
exactly.
help us get some kind of good fresh
Good
things.
energy,
So that's why
fresh,
we feel fresh.
happy,
Yeah,
happy
happy mood.
hormones. All the toxins, they get eliminated. So there is no quick fix to a good health. There is no detox diets to a good health. Early to bed, early to rise will make you healthy, will make you happy, will make you very calm, and you'll be away from the diseases. That's how I work with my clients. That first you need to give yourself some time. You need to accept that yes, I'm in a problem. I need to find out. I need to identify it. Then comes our acceptance, and then comes our action plan. And the action plan is that we pick one habit, one issue at a time, and then we fix it through diet, through yoga, through movement, strength training, whatever is the demand for the situation. We follow that slowly and steadily, and we reach our destination.
Yeah,
That's how I work with my. That's my strategy to work.
that's actually a great strategy. We have discussed a lot about kind of weight loss, a lot about kind of things which we should have in our normal dietary plan, the things, the food we should consume in case if we have any kind of disorder like diabetes, PCOD, or any kind of thyroid problems. That was a very elaborately illustrated answer from you, which we got via this video right now. Thank you for that. And also the same time for moving on to the PCOD questions, I just want to tell you that you can just move the camera a little bit backwards because again I can just see you the head. Yeah,
Fine.
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, this is fine. So let us proceed. Okay, ma'am. So now let us proceed with the PCOD questions, ma'am. So basically, people nowadays are facing a lot of problems because of the PCOD. So people who do not know about PCOD, please, ma'am, explain about the meaning, the behind the PCOD, ma'am. What is actually you do
So
mean by PCOD?
yeah, it is a very common disorder. I would say it's a disorder which is experienced one in every 10 girls and women that, oh, I have PCOD. So it's a very common phrase that I have also come across. Now, so I wanted to understand what is going wrong with the health, women health. What is the issue here? So for the people who don't know, I mean, everybody knows because social media, thanks to social media, the information is right there. Google is right there at your convenience. So it's a polycystic ovarian disease, and when you have too many symptoms coming up, we call it as a syndrome. Now, when we talk about the polycystic. So where is it coming from? What is it? There are certain classical signs that we experience. First and foremost would be that there would be a delay in the menstrual cycle. So the girl, the lady will be missing out on her period cycle. So that's going to be delayed. That's going to be like once in 3 months. Ideally, the ideal menstrual cycle should be from 20. Should the uh, cycle is your duration, it's like 28-day cycle, or it's 30, or it's 32. So that varies from person to person, individual to individual. Sometimes there is a delay, sometimes it's like 35 day, which is okay. Once in like 4 months, 5 months, it's absolutely fine. But if this is seen on a regular basis, that you're missing out on your periods for like 3 months at a go, so if it's like less than 9 cycles in a year, we have to run on certain tests again, and we have to look out for other signs and symptoms in the body. Second, very classical sign of PCOD is that there are a lot of facial hair. Women generally are not one or two very light, sometimes it's there on the body, but there is a pattern of hair growth, and that categorically mimics to that of a male body type. So you have facial hair in unwanted areas. So you have it on the upper lip area, you have it on under the chin, you have it on the body. So this is also again the reason for watching out that there is something wrong in the body, some hormonal imbalance which is definitely happening in a male body and in a female body. We have both the hormones. Testosterone is very much there in the females also, and it's a male hormone, but it is very much there in the female body. That also goes with the males also. The female hormones are definitely there, but why we have both the hormones in the respective genders? Because in order to have the sexual drive alive and keeping it going on, right? So anything which is shows the dominance, exhibits its characteristics. So now we're talking about the testosterone in the female body. What is it doing here? Giving a very different texture, tone to the pitch, to the voice. It's a very heavy, very coarse voice that you come across. That suddenly the pitch of the voice has changed, right? The facial hair is also another. We call them collectively as androgens. These hormones, the male hormones, we call them as the excessive androgens being there. So this is a sign of your PCOD. Again, you need to watch out. You need to run through the tests. You need to meet your physician. You need to meet your gynecologist. To figure out, to rule out what is the cause. Then, when we see the skin, now a very classical sign. So now, when definitely when all of this is happening, the hormonal imbalance happens. There is definitely weight gain. There is classical feature, the central obesity, central part of the body. You'll see the weight gain happening. Now, slowly and steadily, when these symptoms are ignored, there is definitely some thickening and blackening of the skin. And very specifically, you see certain lines near your neck, the black lines. I don't know if you've seen in individuals, girls, women, men also that happens. So that's a very classical sign, and we call it as insulin resistance. And this term, this classical pigmentation that happens sometimes around the neck, nape of the neck, lines like this. Okay. Sometimes in your groin area, sometimes in your armpits. So what do we this is known as acanthosis nigricans. And this is a classical sign and a wake up call for every girl, every woman, or any individual who sees these lines that this is insulin resistance. You need to get and check your blood reports, your blood examination done, wherein you can definitely see whether your how is your glucose being metabolized, how is your insulin functioning in the body. So this is the classical sign for your insulin resistance. So insulin resistance will not let your glucose go into the cells and give energy. So eventually what is happening is that you're going very low on energy. There is fatigue, absorption is not happening, cells are not functioning the way they should. Weight, a lot of glucose being circulated in the body, in the blood. Again, your blood HbA1c levels, that's a test that we run for PCOD just to check whether the insulin resistance is causing any pre-diabetic conditions or not. So this is also something which is very important. These are the classical signs which are there in the fertility issues also come up with the women who are planning to conceive because their periods are not on time, ovulation process is not happening. So there is a delay, and there is sometimes pregnancy is not being achieved. They're not able to conceive, mood swings, irritability, anxiety again. Now, when all of this is happening, all of these symptoms, definitely if even if your insulin is also not functioning and doing its job to take the energy to the glucose to the cells, again your gut also gets imbalanced. So when your gut is also compromised somewhere with the nutrients, again your brain, your mood swings, your sleep cycle. So you see that they are all, these symptoms are all interlinked, and it's a vicious cycle. Every aspect of the health, it's somewhere, getting compromised, it's somewhere getting hampered. You are very irritable, you have sleep issues, you have digestive issues, you have weight gain, you have low energy, fatigue, deficiencies start to happen if it is not taken care of. So this is something which is very alarming when you start seeing that those insulin resistance has started to happen. So you really need to take a put a stop, and you just need to check with your physician, and you need to check like what is going wrong. Get your investigations done, and sometimes even we often ask for the ultrasound reports also, wherein the sonography you see those cysts forming in the ovary. So ovaries, the function is to make the eggs. When these eggs are, immature and they're not forming properly, because you need that hormonal support for this egg to become a matured egg. When this is not happening in the cyst, in the ovary, so eventually what is happening, it is forming into a cyst. Sometimes it's one cyst, sometimes it's poly. So poly means many. So a lot of these cysts form, and then what is happening? Sometimes painful periods happening. Sometimes periods are getting delayed because again the hormones are not functioning the way they should be functioning. So this is how uh, a case of PCOD looks like. So again, blood tests, your pelvic ultrasound, these are the two most important most important tests that need to be run, and this needs to be taken very seriously, because again, if these symptoms are not tackled, controlled, the situation may get worsened, and you may fall into a trap of many other disorders coming arising from this particular situation. So this is
Okay.
about PCOD.
Yeah, that's a very elaborate answer which got from you. Of course, we do have a lot of kind of meanings of PCOD in the Google or any kind of online websites. But
Yes.
as a doctor, you have actually described with the current lifestyle that people do have the current living time right now. So, and also at the same time, I just wanted to ask you, what is the minimum time that one require in order to overcome this kind of PCOD disorders? Like, what is the treatment time that one individual
Hmm. Hmm.
can go through? Like a period of many months or many years. So what is the common time period that one individual requires in order to overcome these kind of PCOD disorders, and when they can return to the kind of normal life, they can have any kind of good things going on their life, ma'am? What is the common time period
Okay,
do you actually think?
so I generally would recommend that anybody who comes or anybody who goes out to any nutritionist or any doctor, so the mode of the treatment modality always have to be a lifestyle change. Because unless and until there is some disturbance from your regular, that circadian rhythm, then only this problem has come up in the first place. Now, in order to see the changes, the visible changes, you definitely have to give some time to it. Please don't expect anything to happen in a week or in 15 days or in a month. And slowly and steadily, like in a period of 3 months, or the person definitely sees some changes happening. 4 weeks it takes for the entire body and entire metabolism to get adjusted. But the best part about reversing such conditions, because I personally feel that, I don't like my clients going on any medications. I always push them and get them into a zone, into a mindset that, you have to quit the medicines, because you are putting something which is very external, and let your body do its job, because it's beautifully designed and it has got all the powers in the world to heal itself very naturally. So timeline, I would say it depends and varies from person to person. There is no fixed timeline to it, like 2 months, 3 months. But definitely over the period of 3 months, 4 months, you definitely see the changes to happen. Minimum, you have to give 3 months of time to see how regularly your cycle is coming. So the first fix is that, with all the necessary steps that you take in order to reverse it, your diet, your sleep, your stress, your movement, your happiness and meditation, everything, you need to see how frequently now your cycles are coming. So we need to track it. So the progress is always tracked. So we see first month, second month, third month. So in a period of 3 months, if the cycles are now regularly happening, so that's first win for us. That's a small win. Then we see that how the lab tests are, where is the insulin levels and how are the glucose levels and other things. So 3 months, let's give 3 months to ourselves, and then we should continue with the lifestyle change. Because if you don't want the situation or the condition to relapse, you need to change permanently, make a lifestyle change. Because you just can't be following something for a period of 3 months and then you go back to the same routine and then the same thing will come. So you will be stuck in that vicious cycle.
Of course, there should be some kind of lifestyle changes in order to eliminate this kind of PCOD disorders. So lifestyle always starts from the very good thing. Our lifestyle starts with the kind of work, the kind of food we eat, the kind of sleep cycle we have. So let us start from the first.
Yes.
So what are the changes that one should have in the dietary food so that they can update the kind of body that they're having right now? Like consider, like what are the dietary plans that one should have in order to have a very good body even before the PCOD kind of symptoms they do have in their life? Like consider a very good, nice, having a very nice, healthy life. So what are the things they should maintain in order to eliminate the PCOD disorders? And consider another kind of diet plan that one can have if one have this kind of PCOD disorders. What one should have before and after
Okay.
PCOD
Okay.
disorders.
Right. So in the first place, if you have ever been diagnosed with a PCOD condition, just don't be very scared of it. Just don't have the fear that, this has happened to me, and I'll continuously for lifelong I have to be in such a state, because it takes a toll on your mind also. It takes a toll on your mental peace also, because there is so much of irritability involved, and this is something which is very naturally coming because of the hormonal imbalance that has happened in your body. So in the first place, I would suggest first is let's watch out the meal. Let's watch out the plate. What are we eating? And for that, we need to understand the insulin resistance. Okay. For the insulin resistance, now the plate has to have a balance of all the nutrients. So for the insulin resistance, we need to focus on the carbohydrates which are low on the glycemic index. Now, there are two terminologies here: glycemic index and the glycemic load, right? I don't want to get into the detail because it's going to take a long for that. But yes, certain carbohydrates, which when go into the body, which when eaten in the right form, in the right quantity, will not spike up your sugar, your insulin very high. It will go spike up the way it should, and very gradually it will do that. So that is something which is very good for you. Now, does that mean that I have to stay away from rice? Does that mean I have to stay away from my roti, chapati? Does that mean that I have to be away from fruits? Because sometimes fruits, because they say sugar is in fruits. So that means I should not even be taking carbohydrates and I should not be taking fruits. No. So what I suggest is that always have your carbohydrates covered. That means do not have them naked, which means that whenever you're having your carbohydrates, pair it with some protein or a fat so that there is not a spike in the sugar level. Anyway, when you eat carbohydrate, the glucose will go up because that's how the glucose go into the different cells. When there is some metabolic disturbance that is happening, that means we need to be very smart with the nutrition, and we need to be very smart with our other lifestyle activities so that we don't get into this resistance and we don't fall sick. So always have your salads, there is an order, have your salad first 15 minutes. I always tell my clients, all of them, be it PCOD, be it diabetics, be it anybody, even myself, have a bowl of salad first, 15 minutes before you have your major meal. Then you start with your fats, you start with your protein is there, and then you start with have your carbs to the last. Follow an order, and then you'll see that your spikes are not that much. And the best, after having your lunch, the tip that I give almost to everybody, and they follow that. I wouldn't say that they don't follow. Luckily, they follow what I tell them blindly. So it's like 10 to 15 minutes of walk post your lunch. So whenever you have your lunch, 10 minutes or 15 minutes of walk, if you do, steps, normal. It doesn't have to be a treadmill. It doesn't have to be a very brisk walk. Just normal, just move around. So what are we doing? We are metabolizing the glucose that we have taken through our diet. It gets used up in the form of the walking and the energy that is needed to walk around. So this is the
Yes.
best thing that you can do.
Is this only for the afternoon or for even for dinner or even for
You can
breakfast?
do for dinner also.
Yeah,
You can do that. So
people
staying
normally do
active
that.
is,
Yeah,
yeah. So the purpose here is to make the body active. So it is a way of making you active, that
metabolism.
introduce a 10-minute walk after lunch, introduce a 10-minute, 15-minute walk after your dinner. That is why they say don't sleep immediately after having your dinner. Give 3 to 4 hours of gap so that you can walk around, you can do your household chores, and you can just utilize that glucose that you have taken, and it is metabolized in a better way. It gets stored in the liver, it gets stored in the muscles, so that the storage and the optimum utilization is happening. This is one part. Now there are certain food groups, there are certain carbohydrates, like you have a lot of vitamin C rich foods, have sweet potato. You can have your rice, you can have your brown rice. There are different forms of rice also that are available. You can have your oats, you can have everything, but the way you have it, that matters the most. Pair it with protein. Try to have a protein in every meal. At least 20 to 30 grams of protein you are getting in every meal. You're having eggs, have your chicken, have your what do we say? Have some form of dairy also. Sometimes now dairy is also something which is very contradictory whether we should have dairy in PCOD or not. But all these food tolerances varies from individual to individual, because everybody is unique and one size fits all doesn't work. So generic diet plans never work. It's always customized, it's always tailored. Second is movement. Now, movement is very important. Yes, staying physically active with these 10,000 steps is one way, but you need a better approach to your movement also. A good aerobic conditioning is required. A good cardiovascular health is required. Good strength training is required. I'm not saying that go and lift heavy in the gym, but some form of body weight exercise. You do squats, you do pull ups, you do push ups. Strength is very important. Why? There is a science behind it. So it's muscle. I focus on muscle gains also. Now, we as women cannot gain as heavy and as denser muscle as the males because of the hormonal profile that we are gifted with. But we can slowly, definitely, we can build up the muscle that is required for us to carry out our activities, right? So muscle is the very largest living tissue that we have, and it needs glycogen. And that glycogen comes from the glucose that we take from our food. So if we are training our muscles well, that utilization, optimum utilization happens through the glucose and it goes into the muscle. The muscle also gets its food. You're also having your food, your cells are getting energy. And your muscles also grow. Your muscles, your metabolism gets better. So when you have muscles, your metabolism goes well. So this is the excellent way to reverse your PCOD, to reverse your insulin resistance, workout. Enjoy the activity that you love the most. Ultimately, you have to de-stress yourself, but focus on weight training. Women, girls, you will not get bulky if you lift weights and see what beautiful magic happens to your body. So this is another aspect that I focus on. Then again, I focus on anti-inflammatory diet also, wherein you have vitamins. Again, it's very important. So spearmint tea is something which is very good for the androgens. So it flushes out all of the androgens from the body. So cinnamon is again an functional food that you must include in your diet. It helps in the managing of your blood glucose levels. So a cinnamon tea, maybe you can boil in some water, add some cinnamon to it, and you're all good to go. Bedtime, you can have it. Magnesium rich foods are also very good. Then simple breath work is very important. Again, cortisol, we need the cortisol to come down. So this is how things work when, even if on a general healthier person, individual who wants to continue having a good health, balance everything. So the focus and emphasis should be on creating a balance and not a restriction. That's how you approach towards an optimum health and well-being, wherein you are holistic in your approach, wherein you're taking care of your mental health, you're taking care of your emotional health, you're taking care of your physical health, and you are taking care of your social and your social well-being also. So all the components of health, your nutrition is there, your sleep is there, your stress is there, your exercise, movement, everything is there. So this is a complete package that you need to look at. And definitely, if you follow it step by step, so everything doesn't happen in a go and overnight. It will take time. So one has to be very, very patient. It's a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It will definitely take time. So that's that's my view of tackling or catering to my clients who come up with these sit, conditions.
Yeah, of course. You have given another elaborate answer. Like what to say? I have asked the question, like frame the question, like what are the lifestyle changes that we should do? Starting from the diet. So we should have some kind of diets. Like consider we are Indians. We are used to have a lot of carbohydrates. So that's the kind of culture we have. We should have a lot of carbohydrates. We are having rice with us. We are having chapatis. So whatever food we are having, we should have it with some kind of 30 to 40 grams of protein, as you said. And also the same time,
Yes.
our daily kind of work we do. Like most of the people will not be having any kind of physical activities work. They'll be sitting in front of the laptops, or they'll be like handling any kind of work just by sitting at a desk, or just by sitting in a chair. A very few percentage of people are having any kind of physical activities in their daily day-to-day work. So as we said, we can have a little walk once we have our dinner, once we have our breakfast, once we have our lunch, anything like that, anything like 10 minutes walk will actually help us grow, help us boost our metabolism. Like whatever we eat, the kind of good nutrients will go and say in the kind of right parts of our body, like in the kind of muscles, so that it will be having some kind of good go through way in the body. And also at the same time, you said that there is the things which you suggested to the people is that you don't actually generally tell the clients to go through a lot of medications. You just try to avoid them, and you just ask the patients to have the kind of healthy lifestyle. So that's the basic reason why they're coming to you, why they're coming to a nutritionist, or why they're coming to a dietitianist, because you do not want to prescribe them kind of medications, and you want to kind of alter, kind of eliminate the PCOD disease. Instead, you can just try for of course, it will take time, like even for months or many years, depending upon the type of individuals. The only thing you can do is you can just advise them the kind of dietary plans, you can just advise them the kind of exercise plans, the kind of things they should do in order to maintain the kind of hormonal balance, so that they will be able to avoid the kind of PCOD diseases. And also this, as a final question, I wanted to ask you is, if one do not want to have this kind of PCOD diseases in the future, concern for young children, what items they can eliminate, that what items that they should strictly avoid in order to escape from this kind of PCOD disease, ma'am?
Okay, sugar.
Sugar,
So that's my go-to. Yes,
chocolates.
white chocolates, processed food. Eliminate all of this from your diet. Prefer eating home cooked meals. Have your dal chawal, have your potato, combine it with your good vegetables, seasonal fruits. Enjoy. Enjoy your plate. You know, nature has given us so much. Why are we going on something which is man-made, which is synthetic, right? So have your mango, have your watermelon, have your coconut water, have your rice, have your roti, but eliminate this one poison, this white poison, which is sugar. Have jaggery instead if you are very keen on having it. Have a bit of jaggery, have dates, have raisins. Are all natural. I'm gonna give you, gonna add benefits to your diet, to your body. But this white processed sugar, out. Processed breads. I don't eat breads. I don't even give my clients breads. I wean them off. I'll give them for a week. I'll give them for 15 days. I'll give them for 20 days, a week, because it takes time. It takes time. What I learned and what I picked up in 15 20, it took me 15 20 years to quit sugar. I can't expect people to just do it like overnight. So it has to take time, but gradually you have to train. You have to prepare your mindset. So whenever I crave for sugar, I eat mango. I pick up my mango and I start eating it. And it's so yummy that, we have so many fruits around us and we have been just relying on the sugar. So yeah. So one is that sugar, eliminate sugar. And second is something which I literally go by. Don't worry about the weight. Don't worry about the scale. Move your body. Do any form of exercise you enjoy, be it uh, walking, jogging, but be very consistent with your exercise. You just move your body. This is something, these two things. And if you're all doing these two things, you are all sorted. Because if you bring in these two things, you will sleep well, you will eat well, you will wake up on time, you will go off to sleep on time. Your stress, sugar is very addictive and it creates a lot of anxiety and a lot of hyperactivity in the body because it's very, very addictive, very high, and it's a good carbohydrates are the primary source of energy. So when you put that sugar, we don't even realize a cookie how much sugar it is containing. So it is like it gives you a sugar rush. It gives you immediately there is a high in energy, and you just feel so irritable, and you need to take off that energy. So what will you do? You become irritable. You become hyperactive. You start feeling very different. So sugar is out. You see the difference in your body. It will just bring everything into place. So these are my two go-to game changers. Move your body. Women, lift weights. You'll not get bulky. Lift weights. Everybody lift weights. Work on your muscle strength. Have protein. Eat a balanced meal. And you are all good to go. Nothing will happen to you.
Great, ma'am. So first is, in order to do maintain a very fit body, we should have some kind of muscle training. We should just lift weights. And the other thing is that what the basic cause of our diseases is the kind of food we intake. So as you told that we should avoid all kind of white color foods like sugar, salt, rice.
Excess of everything is bad.
Rice, bread, tablets. So all these kind of white color things we should avoid.
So rice also. Now, there is a myth along with it. I can't have white rice. I can have brown rice. What should I eat? I should avoid rice. You can have rice. But the best way to have and include rice in your diet is to add fiber to it. And how do we get fiber? We add vegetables to it. We pair it with a protein source. So you have rice and dal. That's the perfect old age ancient combination we've been having. Rice and dal. Add some ghee on it. Don't overdo with it. See, excess of everything is eventually bad. Add ghee. So you've added fat also. You've added protein also. And you have your carbs also. You'll not see the insulin spike. You'll not see the sugar levels just messing around. So it's the combination, how you eat it. So you have your lot of vegetables going. So you ultimately add fiber to your carbs. So this fiber is going to lessen the load on your body. It's going to, anyway, fiber is good for the body, for the gut, for the elimination of the toxins. So even yes, so this is a very important point I want to mention. Fiber is very important when it comes to PCOD also, because sometimes there is a lot of buildup of estrogen, which we call as the estrogen dominance, wherein the progesterone is not able to synthesize naturally, and there is a lot of estrogen flowing. Again, lack of inactivity, glucose metabolism not optimum. So a lot of estrogen is there in the body. So what happens? Estrogen gets collected, and you see that central obesity in women. The along with your insulin resistance. So elimination of toxins. So this estrogen, all these hormones, how do they access? How do they move out of the body? Any elimination, this happens in the outside, happens in the body through elimination, sweat, your bowel movements, or your urine. So excretion is very important. Fiber is very important for your excretion. So that is how the excess estrogen goes out of the body. So every system in the body, in order to have a physiologically wanting it to physiologically function well, five factors, it will be a game changer for you. Movement, you need it for your digestive health, for your excretion. You need movement for a good sleep, for your hormones, your gut health. You need sleep. So if you catch hold of one aspect, all the aspects fall and starts falling into place, and you'll never come to people like us.
Of course, we should come to you to have a kind of regular, good, balanced lifestyle. So we have discussed a lot about nutrition, dietitian, and kind of PCOD, kind of good things which which we do exist in our life. So once again, I'm thanking you, Dr. Pooja Dhingra ma'am, for this wonderful interview in our Woman Today YouTube
Thank you
channel.
so much. Thank you.
So
Thank you so much for having me and giving me this
you are
opportunity to spread this awareness. And I really would want to congratulate you that you're taking so much of putting in so much of hard work and efforts to reach out to women and empowering us, giving us this platform to voice out and share what we are achieving as individuals. So it's really good, amazing. I truly appreciate your efforts. Keep going, keep doing this work, and keep spreading this awareness. And thank you for having me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So, people who are watching this channel, please do subscribe. If you have any kind of doubts regarding nutrition, diets, or any kind of PCOD problems, you can approach Dr. Pooja Dhingra, ma'am. She is in Delhi right now, and I'll mention her Instagram link in the YouTube description so that you can kindly have a conversation with her regarding your kind of problems you face. And if you have any kind of doubts, please do comment in the comment section. So please do like, subscribe, click on the bell icon so that you can receive notifications regarding future interviews regarding many working women or known entrepreneurs in this channel. So once again, thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Pooja Dhingra ma'am, for
Thank you
this
so much.
wonderful
Thank you.
interview over here, ma'am. Good evening. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
ma'am.
much.